is up, my relaxed friends? This is Mike with Designer Home Comfort. We're a large stressless dealership located in Atlanta, Georgia. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing the Malouf Anchor Weighted Blanket. Let's see. Okay, so probably one of the first things you're going to notice about this box, and I didn't draw this on there, but it says heavy on it. And I'm a little bit out of breath right now because it is exactly that. It is extremely heavy. I'm not sure what UPS marked the weight of this box, 26 pounds. That's probably generous considering the blanket itself is 25. The box and packing materials, I imagine, adds a couple more pounds. But this is it. So I'm going to open it up. If you know anything about Malouf, you know that they've won design awards for their packaging. They always do a great job of marketing their products in store, just making them look very attractive. I'm sorry, this is a 20-pound blanket. I'm sorry, I said 25-pound. But this is actually their heaviest blanket. There are two others that are lighter, and then at two different sizes, as a throw or a queen size. I opted to go with the throw since this is going to be on the sofa at home, and didn't want a gigantic queen blanket hanging off of it. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this for 1 second so that way I can try and unbox with both hands and then show you guys exactly what that looks like. Alright, so for some perspective, this is how big this is, and it is not a light box. It is extremely heavy. So, start by unopening that sleeve there. Again, I can't stress enough how heavy this box is, and it's not from the box. It's certainly from the blanket itself. So if you see here, there's a little thank you note from Malouf and the Malouf Foundation, the support that they do for human trafficking. And inside is the weighted blanket. And wow, this thing is extremely heavy. Again, weighted 20 pounds. Oh man, feels like it's like a kind of a beanbag interior to it, but it's much softer than that. It's really hard to describe, what that feels like, but the outside has that velour cover. It kind of gives it that like velvety, silky feel. And it's a decent sized blanket, even for what they consider a throw. This blanket, it says it's 48 by 72 inches, so that's a fair sized blanket for a throw blanket. Not much bigger than what I would assume a throw blanket would be. I'll see if I can get a shot of it, of the entire thing. But wow, it is heavy to hold up. I will say, if that's on top of you, you should feel secure because you're not moving anywhere. That's like a hurricane blanket. So I'm sure anyone listening has heard me say this thing is heavy probably 5, 6, 7 times during this video. So I was kind of curious because for a blanket, it doesn't seem like 20 pounds would be very much. But when you think about a blanket, you definitely don't think that it would weigh that much. So I put it on a scale just to kind of get an idea. So 22.43 pounds, something like that. And I tried to bundle this up as best I could to get it all on the scale, but you can see some of it spilling over, which is probably taking some of the weight off of it. So this thing is probably measured a little bit more than 20 pounds. Okay, so here's a closer look at the Malouf Anchor Blanket. This is the outside, I presume, since it has kind of a decorative pattern to it, which also serves a purpose for the pocketed glass beads is what they actually are, but they don't feel like beads. It almost feels more like a soft sand or something. It's very, very hard to describe. On the opposite side here is more of a plain texture on the inside. I assume is the inside of the blanket, so you have the outside and then the inside here. Malouf describes it as a microfiber It's very smooth and silky to the touch, which is nice because it is a rather thick blanket. Anything extremely high pile may be trapping heat a little too much, especially with the weighted packets in it. Again, those weighted packets are focused on the outsides of the blanket, like around here. And then there are some in the middle scattered throughout. You can kind of feel them as you run your hand across it. One of the last things I wanted to do was just move this blanket around a little bit so you can see how it's weighted and how it drapes around. It feels like most of the weight is on the outside of the blanket, which makes sense because that's probably what is going to anchor, which is the name of the blanket, this large blanket around you, kind of keeping you tucked in. But there are packets, I've described them as beads, kind of a soft beading material inside of this blanket that are packeted in the middle, but it seems like most of that weight is focused on the outside of the blanket, again, giving it that anchor effect. And believe me when I say this, it is very much anchored. This is the 20-pound version. There are some lighter ones, and if you're a smaller person, maybe that's a better choice for you. But that's it. Okay, we're just going to wrap up the video here. The Malouf Anchor Weighted Blanket was designed, like most weighted blankets, to reduce anxiety and reduce sleep disorders like restless leg syndrome and things like that. And even when I was under the blanket, I certainly recognized the effect that that heavy blanket had on me. It definitely removed the temptation to be wanting to wiggle my legs around or bob my knee up and down like I typically do in a nervous habit. The blanket is available in two different sizes, a throw size, which is 48 by 72, and the queen size, which is 60 by 80. Most importantly, it's available in 3 different weights. So this one here is the 20-pound, but Malouf also makes a 12-pound and a 15-pound option. Malouf does recommend that you go with a weight that's about 10 to 12% of your body weight. So if you're around 200 pounds, go with the 20-pound. If you're around 150, go with the 15. And if you're around 120, go with the 12-pound. One thing that wasn't easy to see until I opened up the zipper here is that the what they describe, the glass beads, the weighted portion of the blanket here, is in these quilted pieces inside the inner blanket. So it would be easy to wash this because you would just have to remove this outside portion right here, and then this side you could remove. One thing I did realize why this blanket was so heavy but it wasn't moving around a lot on me was the ties here. So because it's anchored by several different corners, the blanket isn't really moving around on you like you think it would. If you've ever used a big duvet, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this has plenty of tie downs on it, which keeps this inner blanket from moving around inside the outer one. So that's an added feature as well. Anyway, I'm going to add some pricing information down in the description below. I'm sorry my camera keeps going in and out of focus here. I'm going to add some information down in the descriptions below about pricing and where you can purchase your Malouf blanket at the lowest cost at designerhomecomfort.com. But if you guys have any questions at all, or you just want to leave a comment, please do down below, and I'll try to get to them as I see them. Thank you. Bye.